Welcome to the end-to-end project showcase. And for this session, we are going to be looking at a case study of a chocolate factory. So without wasting time, let me show us what the project is all about. So this is the scenario. So as a newly appointed data analyst at chocolate factory, you've been handed the company's annual sales data. Historically, leadership has relied on Excel sheets and basic summaries to track performance, but they are now seeking deeper insights and a more refined way to visualize their data for strategic decision making. So they have provided you with, you know, the following key data dimensions: customers, products, managers, stores, and actual sales versus forecasted values. So your job is not out. Okay, the CEO has reviewed an early draft of the Power BI report, and thus far he is pleased with the progress made so far. But at the same time, he believes there is still room for improvement. So now the reports are going to be creating highlights the total sales profit, quantity sold and transaction count year to date, regional sales contributions, top performing products and customers, the sales trend, and also the performance of both the online and the physical stores. So without wasting time, let me head on to Power BI. So at the end of the day, we're going to be creating a dashboard just like this. So open up a new Power BI. Then come to blank reports to start a fresh project. So data. So one of the beauty of Power BI is that it allows you to connect to multiple data sources. Now, regardless of where your data is stored per time, you can reach out to your data, get your data, and head on to visualizing your data. So I'll come down to SQL Server, and here it connects directly to my SQL Server. So here's my SQL Server. I have my server name here in notes. Inside my notepad here, I have my server name. I can just copy from here. Then I come to Power BI to paste the server name. Then here I specify the database I want to work with. So it's chocolates factory. That is the name of my database. So now to get my data from my database into Power BI, we have two types, two modes of connectivity. We have import and also direct query. The major difference between these two is that import brings in your entire data into Power BI, wherein you can then go ahead to create visuals and all of that. So direct query, on the other hand, does not bring data into Power BI. But then once you are connected to the database, you get to query data you want to use per time. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to be making use of the import connectivity mode. I'll say okay. So what this will do, it will open up a navigation bar where you'd see all the tables that are inside the database. So I have the dimension table. If I click on this now, just to give you a preview of what I have. As you can see, I have the customers table, I have the date table, I have the manager table, product, store, and above all, I also have the sales orders table. So the sales orders table is the facts table where other dimension tables are connecting to. Don't forget it. Facts table contains day-to-day activities, day-to-day transactions going on within your business. So I come to transform data. Now, why am I clicking transform data? So that I can see my data and be rest assured that it could be used for the analysis that I want to carry out. So transform data. So what transform data does is that it helps you open up your Power Query editor where you can then do your transformations and all of that. So the Power Query editor is just very similar to what you have in Excel. If you have been using Excel before now, it's going to be a work in the park for you. So here I have my sales orders table, then I can go down to see if there is a need, if there is a cause for alarm at all. And as you can see, all my data valid here. For product as well, let's check. Alright, 100% valid. Nation store also 100% valid. Manager as well. Then the time date there. Okay. Yeah, let me just do something very quickly here. I want to have my year month. Don't forget, I showed you this earlier. We have year month and all of that. So I want to have a new column called year month. So I'll come here now to say can duplicate this. Now the year month column contains just the year and the month. So I can come here now. Since here I have the year and the month and the day written together. Let me just duplicate this column. Having duplicated that, I can then come here to say I want to rename this as year month. So now, in order for me to be able to extract only the year month out of what I currently have in that table, so I'll come to transform, then extract. So first characters, year is only 4 digits, 20, 21, 20, 24. Then the month as well can only be 2 digits, 1 to 12. Which means I can use the extras to extract 4 plus 2, which is 6, the first 6 letters only. So I take our first characters. Then I come to here and say 6. You can see I now have my year month. So I can then change this data type. So currently it's seen as a text. I can then come here to change data type into whole number. And you can see that I now have a year month column. Then inside my sales orders table as well, let's check. Okay, I think I'm good to go now. So I'll come back to home and say close and apply. So once I close and apply, all the transformation that I have done going to be, you know, brought into Power BI. A data model will be created. So it's loading currently. All right, data has now been loaded into Power BI. So if we come here to the data view, you can see right here on the right hand side. As I have all my tables here already. Come to table views as well. You can see I have my dimensions table, like this dimension, then my customer, then my product. So one more file I want to import is the forecast file, which we're also going to be using for this project. And like I said earlier, that regardless of where your data is stored, Power BI allows you to reach out for your data and visualize. So I'll come to get data, then Excel workbook. So this is the workbook, target, forecast, and open. Mm. Okay, so if I click on this now, I have a preview. Now this data is looking very, very dirty. So we can't click on load now. Let's just go and clean up the data. So I'll come to transform data. So like I said earlier, that transform data opens up the Power Query editor. So this is what we have. First, let me just change this to forecast. So now let's look at what's going on. We have quite a number of null values, and if you can look, if you see it critically, you would agree with me that that was the first 9 rows have null values, and even on row 10, row 10 is more like the actual header that we are supposed to have. So what do we do now? Let's take out the null values. I've come here to say remove rows, remove top rows, which means if I'm counting from the top, how many rows should I remove? Then it's 9 rows. Say okay. So we have here now. Now if you look at it again, there are some columns that contains only null values. So what do we do to resolve that? All I'll do is click on this column. This contains our region. Then all the way down, down to, so you don't really need the grand total as well. So I'm going to be taking the grand total out. So I'll just right click from here down to here. Then I'll say remove other columns. No, I think it should be from here. Then I right click and say remove other columns. And here automatically other columns just So now if you look at it, my first row should actually be my column header. Why? Because this is region, and of course region should be here. This is a stride, should be here. So what I'll just do is to say use first row as headers. It automatically becomes promoted into headers. Now if you look at it now, you'd see that For every date, there are multiple transactions. So I have my store ID, my region, and everything now. But there are still issues with my laptop, with my table. Why? Because I still have no values some places. So I can come to store ID to say I want to take out all the no values and voila. Okay, I think everything is looking all good now. Oh yeah. So we have, if you look at this now, you see that each day has its own data. People patronizing on it. But it shouldn't be like that. It should be a desk column, then other information will be stored somewhere. So what I'll do now is that I'll pick these first two, let's click, then I'll say on pivot other columns. So here you go. We have our region, store ID, attributes. Now attribute and value are just the default name I'll be given. So I can change this to date. Change this to dates. So I think I have region in one of these. So here now I have my dates, I have my value. So if you check this table, yeah, you can see that I have a region column here. I have my region column here. So inside my forecast, I don't really think I need the region. So I can also take out this region. Then I'm left with my store ID, my date, and also value. So now I can then go ahead to say, okay, what are the other things that I need to clean up? Okay, let's say I want to have my year, my month, and my day in different columns. I'll come here to say split column by delimiter. Now I'll ask you to please split at every occurrence, each occurrence of the delimiter. Then okay. So you can see that I now have my month, my day, and also yeah. So you can change this to here. Change this to month, to day rather. Then change this to month. Change this to capital. Okay. So at the same time we can okay, I also do something. Let's try to now another beauty of this is that you can remove any task that was performed before here. So any task that I have performed before can be removed from this apply step under apply step the right hand side here. So I have here to be my month. I have day, then I have year. Okay, so now I want to have a new column called year month, where I have combined what you have here and here. So I'll say add column, then this time around I have the custom column, whereby I'm able to write my own formula to be able to create the column. So I'll call this should I call this year month? Then I'll just say okay, the year and the month there. Okay. So you can now see that my year month also is here. And yeah. So doing that, I think we are good to go. We now have all there is to have. So I'll go to home, then close and apply. So like you did the other time, it's trying to load into data into your database and see how it creates the amazing visual. Okay, my data is now here in Power BI. So let's check the data model very quickly. So this is the data model, and this is where the facts and the dimension table, this is where they connect. So yeah, here now you can see that there is a connection already between all the tables that we have. So for me to be able to make use of the day month in my analysis in the future, I'll have to convert this custom made date table into, I'll mark it as a date table. So I'll come as date table, do this, and choose dates, and okay. Okay. So now that we have our data, we have everything up and running. In the sense, start building our visual. Yeah, so now that we have successfully loaded all our tables into Power BI, we can then go ahead to start building our visuals. But before we do that, I will want to create a table where I'll store my measures. Measures are like formulas in Excel. They are created to make sense out of your data, calculation, perform application, and all of that. So in order to just give a structure to my measures can basically be stored anywhere in any of the tables. But I want to create a separate table called measures where all the measures that I'm going to be creating, I'll be storing them there. So in order to do that, I'll come to my table view, a new table. So although there are different ways to do this, there's not a fast rule, but this is how I choose to do it. So say measure, let me call this measure, then basically I just want to create an empty table that is going to contain my measures. So I can just create an empty table. So there is just an empty table there. Okay. So inside measure now, I can then go ahead to have whatever it is the measure I want to create. Now let's go back to the scenario. Here's the scenario. So we want to have total sales year to date, profits year to date, quantity sold and transaction counts. So let's do that. So in order for me to have all of these, I will have to create measures. So the first measure I'm going to create. Now let's go back to the demo we are trying to create. You can see here we have the card visual showing the current year, the sales profit, and all of that. So I also come here to say create new measure. Then here I can have current year. Current quantity rather. So what I'm writing is called a DAX formula. It's data analysis expression. So in order for me to get the current quantity, I want to calculate the sum of my sales order, the sales of my quantity sold rather, because I want to calculate current quantity. So quantity sold is going to be my sales order table. Then I come to quantity sold, yes. Then close the brackets. So more of these are going to be discussed when we begin the class fully. I'm going to talk more and extensively about the data analysis expression DAX. So I'm going to be using date year to date. Then here now I have my dates table, then dates, then I have dates. Then I close the brackets. Okay, you don't forget all open brackets must be closed. So I'm going to say enter now. So with this now, I'm able to create a measure called current quantity, so which I can then go ahead to visualize. So let me create more measures. Let's also create another measure. We call that the current year. Current year. Then I'll just calculate. So that's how these things count. Oh, I'm calculating current year. I want to have the sum of my sales amount in the current year. So I have my sales order, then sales amount, brackets, comma, date year today, then dates, close my brackets, then close my bracket again, yeah, enter. So also be creating Now, one thing you should note is that when you are trying to create measures, whichever table you want it to be saved in should be the one open here. you can see that because my dimension customer was open, that was why this new measure is created inside here. So once it's created inside the measures table, so I'll just come here to say, open up this now, gonna say current. Yeah. Then I'll say calculate the sum of my sales amount, which is stored inside the sales orders. Then date year to date. Then I have dates. Then I can close brackets. Then I think, yes, we're done with this. So we'll also be able to create another measure. This time around, we're creating a measure to give us the customer TD year to date. So I say calculate distance count. So more of these are going to be discussed in class. So let's just follow along. So I'll have my customer ID now because that is a unique identifier. And I think I should close brackets. Now it's like 2. Dates. Then we should also have another one for forecast value. So for forecast value. So calculate the sum of my forecast value, close the brackets. Then this time around I'll say use relationship. We're going to discuss more of this in class. So forecast store ID. And the store ID. Then I close the brackets. Then enter. That's our forecast value. Then I think we should also create last year's sales, another measure that's going to give us last year's sales. CLY sales. And I'll say calculate the sum of my sales amount then this one I use same period last year. These are all functions in Power BI that you could use to your advantage when you are working on projects. So I have my dates. Then that. To that one, I want my sales profit. Let's have a measure for sales profit as well. Let's calculate our profit. So sales profit, then calculate the sum profit amount is profit, comma, then the dates. Okay. Then we also mentioned let's have our sales value as well. So let me have sales values. Sales value. Then this is just basically going to be the sum of my sales amount. Enter. And finally, let's talk about transaction count. So I can come here. Transact count. Then I can have calculate controls and the old transaction that I have. Sales orders, all the rows in my sales orders table. Dates or TD. Yeah, I'm going to use the dates. Now close the brackets, then enter. So now that I've created all the method that I've been needing for this, then I can then go ahead and start building, my dashboard. So since this is also replicating, let's just use this template. So I'll come here to bring in my shape. So you insert shape, a rectangle. It should be somewhere here. So I can come to style, change color to black, no border. Then so since there's a brand called Chocolate Factory where we actually work for, and we are trying to simulate the environment here. So I bring in the logo. You can see this is the logo of Chocolate Factory. So I can then go ahead to start building. So the very first thing I want to visualize is my current year. So I can come here to pick a visual. Yeah. I have a card visual. So what I want to have on this card visual, constantly I want to have my current year. So the total onto the current year. Okay. This is current here. I can bring that up somewhere around here. Let me try to increase this. Okay, perfect. So I can adjust this a bit. And then here. Then Ctrl C, Ctrl V. How many do I want to have? Let's say 5. So I'll run here. I've only copy and pasted the very first one. So now I can then go ahead and change what I have here. Instead of current here, for these are my sales profits. For these are my current quantity. Now my current quantity. For these are my transact count. Then for these I want my customer yet to date. Okay, so all of these are called card visuals. So this is the amount we get currently in the current year. And to make all of this interactive, we can bring in slicers. But just before we do that, let's just have our visuals up here and see before we move forward to the other things. So I would also like to show the region, the current year, the last year sales, and also the forecasted value on a matrix table. So I'll come here to click on matrix. So my rows I want to have for my them dates, I want to have my year month, then also region. So region is in this table. Yeah. I want to have my region. Okay. Then I want to compare 3 values, which are the current year, the last year sales, and also the forecasted value. So all of that have been created and measured here. So I want to have my current year. I want to have last year sales, and I also want to have forecast value. Okay, good. So let's see if I can. Let me just expand this a bit. So I don't want the total. I can just come here, both totals. Okay. Then I can. Okay, so I have my values here. Then also, don't forget from our scenario, let's go back to, we've been able to see the total sales year to date, profits, quantity sold, transaction count. Now, we are going to see the regional sales contribution, and also create tables to show the top performing products and performing customers. So let's do that. Then I want to have our charts here. Somewhere here. Let's have a bar chart. Then this bar chart, I want to have the regional contribution. So to my current year sales. So in that case, I'm going to have my region, my current year sales. Okay, then I want manager. Okay. So all I'm interested in is the regional contribution to the current year sales. So I have region and I have the current year sales. So let's go back to the scenario. I also want the type of product and customers. So I'd like to visualize that with the table. So I can come here to select table. I want the table to be somewhere around here. Let me make it a bit smaller. So on the table, I want to have my product name that will be in them products, my product name, and also I want to have my sales profits for each product. So come to sales order. I want to have my profits. Okay, it's actually what you calculated earlier. Yes. So this is the profit for each of the products I sold. So I can come in to take off the total. So I'll come to totals to take off the total. Now I'm only interested in seeing the top 5 products by sales profit. So what I'll do now is to filter this visual. So I'll come now to products. I want to be able to filter this. I want to use top N, top 5, and I want to filter by sales profits. The value sales profits. Then I want to apply. You can see I'm now left with only the top 5 products. Only the top 5 products. So I can decide to style my this thing the way I like it. Then I also want another table. Let me bring in another table where I'm going to also display the top 5 customers. Then let me have that somewhere here as well. Okay. So this time around, I want my customer name. Let me open this. My customer name should be into customer. My customer name. Then the current year sale. To measure current year. And I can come to totals. Check all the totals. Then I want only the top 5. Bring my top 5 here. So top N to top 5. Then I bring in my current year. Then apply. Okay. Alright. So these are the customer, the top performing customer, and also the top performing products. So what's the last thing we have here? The scenario. If you want to have sales trend compared to forecast values over time, and also online versus physical store performance. Okay. So here I want to have a line chart to be able to show trend over time. So I'll come here to have a line chart here. You can business of it. Okay, I want to have a line chart here. I want to have a line chart. So I want to compare the sales value to the forecasted value to see how, if we actually, met with the forecasted value, and if not, what is the difference? So I come here, say I have my year month. I think I have my year month to forecast. Okay, let's use this now. Year month should be this. Then I want my sales value and my forecast value. Okay, so this is my sales value and forecast value. To make all of this interactive, we are going to bring in slices, but let's have the final chart as well. The final chart is to show online versus physical store performance. So we can actually visualize that using a donut or a pie chart. So let's use a donut chart. I have that somewhere here. Then I want to have my current here. Then the details is going to be my store type. Let's go to them store. Okay. Alright. So this is going to give me, So I think particularly we've been able to create all our visuals. Then let's bring in our slicers to bring in a bit of interactivity into this. Okay, so let's have our slicers. Slicer here. The first slicer I want to have should be a product. So I'm going to have a product ID. Then you can see it's currently shown as between, but instead I want a drop down. So I'll come here to slicer settings, drop down. Okay, can then adjust this. And bring over here. So I can decide to style it the way I want. I can come to size header, let me just change it to, I can leave it at product ID. Then my values is black. Then effects, I don't want a background. And if I won't be wanting a background, or let me just have a background but make it a black background, so it to be the same color. So I can then come to visual to my slicer header, change this color to white, and also come to my values and change the color to white. Okay, then I can then give my values a black background, so that each time I click on this, I'm going to be able to see all my values. Then, so we've been able to create the first slicer. Let me just Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Let me just replicate this here. So here, I want to have my product name instead. So I can change this to product name. And here, I want to have my region. Region is a manager. I want to have my region, the cost product name. Yeah. Then here I want to have, yeah, so for my date dimension I want to have month, the cost product ID. Then here I want to have year instead. Okay, all right. Okay, so in order to make all of these well aligned, I can hold down shift, click on everything, then come to format, align, then I can align top, then at the same time distribute horizontally. So it has equal spacing across border. So yeah, so they come now to click here to say, okay, I want to see how we fared in 2024. Okay, so I discovered that the sales value and the forecast value chart is not responding. So what do we do? Let's go back to our relationship to see if there's actually a relationship between our forecast table and our date table. So I'll come to relationship view. This is my forecast. You can see forecast is only connected to dim store. Now let's connect our date and time forecasts as well. So I can just drag this place here. Then I'll say save. Okay, let's go back now to see our visual. Aha, you can see that our visual is now responding. So which means at the start here, our sales value and our forecast value had almost the same amount. So we were able to make almost the same amount that we predicted um, around January 2024. So I can then go ahead to style my visual whichever way I want it. I can say, okay, I want to have change this to maybe green. Come to the bars, change the color to, let's say, green somewhere here. Okay, I think this works for me. Then here as well, I want to have what is called data bars. Data bars. So for data bars, I come click the table. Data bars is just for me to show, okay, this is the highest followed by this and all of that. So you can see currently this is not sorted from highest to lowest. If I come here and I do this, you can see it's not sorted from highest to lowest. So cookie dough being the highest, then followed by banana and all of that. And I can also do the same here to sort from highest to lowest. So I can then come here to say I want to have my data bus, that's for conditional formatting. Come to data bus, then I say the positive bars should be gray. Then I'll say okay. Okay, you can see I have mostly positive values. Okay. All right. So yeah, please, I can also come here to do the same. I also want to have make it a brush and then some more colors. This way. Okay, yeah, I think I should change this to that same guy. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, going back now to our scenario, we've been able to achieve all of this to see total sales year to date, profit, quantity sold, transactions, the regional sales contribution, the top performing products and customers, the sales trend compared to forecast value over time, and also the online versus physical store performance. So we can just also style this a bit to say camera. The details label should be at the bottom to the inside. Then this will be outside for us to be able to see exactly. Then I want to have only the percentage of the data value. Let's have data value. Oh, maybe percentage. I think I should have a percentage. Okay. Let's adjust this a bit. Okay. So this is some formatting here. My legend, I want my legend to be at the bottom. Then I don't want the title. Okay, yeah, this is looking more like it. So yeah, I think so far so good. We've been able to address all we have as our deliverables in the scenario. So basically, like I said earlier, that this is just a demo project and it's still lasting for more than 1 hour already. So this is just to show you what Power BI can do, the kind of questions you can answer. And yeah, this is what I call it a wrap for this video. Thank you so much for sticking around today and see you in the next one.